What's My Line? Brought to you by Geritol, the high-potency vitamin iron-rich tonic in liquid or tablets to help you feel stronger. And now, let's all play What's My Line? From New York, let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, the delightful star of stage and television, Miss Arlene Francis.
And now that wonderfully talented comedian who is soon to be seen in the new Universal release, The Brass Bottle, Mr. Tony Randall.
It is my pleasure to introduce one of the loveliest girls in the theater. And as a testimony to her ability, last year she won the coveted Tony Award, Miss Phyllis Newman.
And on my left, the great publisher and the great friend of mine, Mr. Bennett Cerf.
Well, in these days of tumultuous change, it's nice to know there's one solid rock of Gibraltar we can cling to. And the solid rock I refer to, of course, is our always articulate panel moderator, John Charles Daly.
Well, with Tony Award winner Miss Phyllis and Tony Randall with us, we should have us a very successful half hour tonight, I think. It's nice to have you both on the panel. We have some very interesting occupations to give you, I trust, some fun and a little, perhaps, tax the minds in the next half hour. We'll also have a famous mystery guest before all my friends on the panel. A little bit later in the program, we'll meet our first challenge. And now to meet our first contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Leslie Somerville, right? Is it Miss or Mrs. Somerville?
Yes.
Miss Somerville, and
Yes.
where are you from, Miss Somerville?
London, England.
From London, England?
Yes.
Well, I know that you're familiar with What's My Line from British BBC
More or less,
television,
yes.
right? Well, it's nice to have you with us. Miss Somerville, may I present our panel?
Yeah.
Now, would you join me here? With your familiarity with the program in London, do you know how we keep score?
Yes.
Fine, then we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we can tell you that Miss Somerville is self-employed, deals in a service, and we'll begin the general questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Miss Somerville, does the service you perform have any connection whatever with the entertainment industry?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Is your service, however, for the human race, men and women?
Yes.
Do they come to you for your service?
Yes, I should say so.
Would your service take place indoors?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Tony Randall.
The service you perform outdoors.
Yes.
Do the people, the people come to you, men and women together?
Yes.
They could, Tony. Actually, this would be a matter of having an interest in the service and coming to engage it, you see. But then the service is performed outdoors.
Mm-hmm. Do you wear some sort of protective garb when you perform your service?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. If we saw you in it, would we know immediately what you did?
I should think so, yes.
Do you work with growing things?
No.
I don't think so. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Newman.
Do people pay admission to see you?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Miss Somerville, do you have anything whatever to do with the field of transportation?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
When you perform your service, Miss Somerville, are you on the land rather than on the sea or or in the air?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Randall.
Hello.
That opens a lot of doors, doesn't it?
Not to me.
You got a choice.
She's outdoors and not on land.
Right.
It must be on sea, because you couldn't be outdoors and in a plane.
Why not?
Because you'd be in the plane.
It all depends on whether you like to walk wings, and I don't know whether you like to walk wings or not.
May I take a chance and guess on water?
Yes.
You perform on water. You perform on boats. You do your service on boats.
Well, I think it's fair to say, with your permission, that there is an association between boats and the service, as it may be rendered. Beyond that, we're not willing to commit ourselves on the strength of the question as you asked it.
The service is performed more peculiarly on water than on boats. Is that it?
Well, I would say that there is a definite relationship between water and the service, yes. But as to whether the service has
There's
a relationship
between
to
water and
water
all
is
of life.
greater. Well, that's perfectly true. And I have a very fine speech I deliver on water pollution and its dangers to the future of the United States. Not now.
I'd like to drink to that speech.
Well, splendid.
Are you some sort of athlete?
No.
That makes it 7 down and 3 to go. Miss Newman, this is not to suggest that Miss Somerville is not athletic, however, in her own right.
I would like to get back, Miss Somerville, to what you wear. If you came out here now and you were wearing it, would everybody laugh?
I should imagine so, yes.
They would laugh. Do you go under the water?
Yes.
Do you have something to do with deep-sea diving?
Yes.
Do you dive after little boys? No, pearls? I don't know. What do they do?
No.
Actually, Miss Phyllis, I'm going to turn all the cards
She
over.
goes under the water, though.
Substantially, I think you have found out what Miss Somerville's line is.
lady?
She's a professional diver, professional
yes.
skin diver. And it covers the whole area of definition, photography, teaching other folks how to have fun. I guess the skin divers would be the teaching part of it, wouldn't it?
Yes.
To teach them how to handle the lungs and things like that.
We also blow up wrecks and things that are in the way of shipping, filming any adverts in English commercial television, that is. Anything to do with underwater photography, filming, demolition, salvage, etc., etc.
And Miss Somerville is co-owner, Bennett, of the Diving Center is the name of your group, isn't it? Yes. Now, there's nothing we can do about Bennett at the moment because he's not underwater, but there we are. Well, Miss Somerville, it was nice to have a visitor from London.
Thank you
Hope you
very
enjoyed
much.
being with us. Now to meet our second contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Warren G. Right. How did you know? Warren G. Harding is right. I think, Mr. Harding, the first thing we need to do, since the reaction in the panel was immediate, is tell him what that G stands for.
George.
Warren George Harding. And where are you from, sir?
Braintree, Mass.
From Braintree, Massachusetts. And may I present our distinguished panel? And then will you join me over here? Do you know how we keep score, Mr.
Yes,
Harding?
sir.
Fine. Then we'll let the audience at home and the audience in the theater know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mr. Harding is salaried and deals in a service, and we'll begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Harding, you have rather a somber look about you. Is your work quite serious?
Yes.
Do people come to you for your services rather than you're going to them?
Partly.
Do you work in an office, Mr. Harding?
Partly.
Do you work for did you say self-employed, John?
Salaried. Salaried.
Do you work for a non-profit-making organization?
Yes.
That explains why you look rather dour tonight. Is it any branch of the government, Mr. Harding?
Yes.
Is it city government rather than federal government?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Randall.
Do you have a title in your government work?
Well, yes, I would say that certainly there is a specific description of the office which Mr. Harding holds. But this is not to suggest to you that he would readily be greeted by everybody he met by a time.
I see. You're either federal, county, or state, is that it?
Yes.
May I take a chance on federal?
No.
You certainly may take the chance. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Newman.
Thank you. Mr. Harding, you work for the state of Massachusetts.
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with law or the enforcing of law?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr.
I
Cerf.
didn't think so.
Mr. Harding, I don't want the no to count on this. I'm just asking my curiosity. You're no relation of the late President Warren Harding, are you? I presume you were just named Warren because he was president when you were born or something?
No, I was born long before he was president.
Right. You mean you preceded him? Well, never mind. You're no relation.
He looks better.
Yeah. Mr. Harding, in the work that you do for the state of Massachusetts, is there anything alive involved?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, now, we had a lady who was a skin diver. I'm wondering whether the thing that is alive is something that thrives in water. Is it?
Thrives in water?
Yes.
Well, you're the expert. I would, as a
Yes.
man, can say yes.
Is its principal habitat water?
Yes.
Is it something that can be eaten by human beings?
No.
No?
There's the most disturbing thought of the year. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
But it is something that lives in water. And it is not eaten by human beings. Is it a member of the fish or mammal family?
No.
No. And actually what we mean to convey here, and trust that we have done so, is that there is a very close association between water and the object that you're trying to identify.
What?
I don't want to mislead you to the point of
Yes, you do,
having
John.
you think that we're suggesting that this is entirely a water object.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Randall.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Why don't you try for birds?
No, I have something else in mind that
All
I'm
right, go ahead.
just as certain is as wrong as birds. Have you anything to do with water pollution?
No, sir.
That's 6 down and 4 to go. Thank you very much, Tony. I'll make the speech as soon as I get a second breath. Miss Newman?
Now, it's not fish. I mean, I'm just saying, we've established that it's not fish.
It has not been established. Would you like to ask that question?
Is it, I don't know how you say it. Is it true that it's not fish?
That's good. Yes, it is true that it's not fish.
Is it something, do you do something to this thing?
Yes.
Does this thing do something to you?
Depends on who gets there first, I would say, wouldn't you?
Are you responsible for keeping this thing someplace?
No.
For keeping it someplace?
Or looking at it? Or
No.
touching it?
Not for keeping it.
The keeping, we have to give you the no.
all
That's
right.
7 down and 3 to go,
Mr. Harding, is this live thing that lives in the water that you deal with ever used for laboratory experiments, or?
Yes.
It is. Are you connected with some state laboratory that investigates this?
No.
That's 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Francis.
Would I be correct in including in this fish and mammal and crustacean world porpoise and all of that? That's all out, isn't it? That's
Yes,
not
that's
to be
all out.
considered.
Yes.
Does this animal or fish or whatever it is it ever seen on land?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Is it seen where it's sandy?
Yes.
Often.
It is, but it is positively not edible. Is that correct?
Well, let's say by human beings, we wouldn't consider that anybody, unless they were, voracious appetite, I don't know.
Could we have just 1 minute of conference?
You may have
John?
30 seconds for a comment.
Arlene, how about worms? We haven't said a word about worms.
I hardly ever talk about worms, but if you'd like...
I know lots of them.
Is it a small thing rather than a large thing?
Yes.
Does it wiggle?
I don't think we could describe it as wiggling, do you?
Well, then it's... Oh, it sometimes wiggles.
Well, actually, I must say, Mr. Harding is very generous. There is a moment in time when perhaps we could describe this thing as wiggling, so we'll give you a qualified yes.
Does it ever take off from the ground in any way?
Yes.
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 Mhm.
Yes. Could it fly?
Yes.
Where would it go? Is it ever considered a pest of any kind?
Yes.
Is it quite a small pest?
Yes.
Finally came.
Oh, if one landed on me, would I be terribly irritated? And would I swat it?
Yes.
And would I have a lump as a result?
Of the swat?
Do you have anything to do with the mosquito world or the fly world? You do?
Yes.
Do you have something to do with the demolition of mosquitoes?
The demolition of mosquitoes.
You blow them up.
He blows them up. No,
Get rid of them.
Now, Mr. Harding is the director of the Plymouth County Mosquito Control Project. Is that right, sir? That is...
Phyllis was so close. She said, "Does it ever eat you?" And she was sort of kidding, but she was right on it.
Close. Well, because they do occasionally, but I don't think we eat them. At least I haven't found anybody who does.
No, not unless your mouth is open for quite a long time. I
Well,
hope
this
you
is-
get rid of them all, Mr. Harding.
We hope so.
Are you satisfied that with the modern techniques that basically they can be controlled where there is large population at the same time?
If there aren't too many books out to condemn control methods.
If there aren't too many books out to control... I get the wind of that, and thank you very much, Mr. Harding, for coming to be our guest. Nice to have you. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word from our sponsor. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which the panel is blindfolded. Are the blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? As you know, panel, one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and let's begin with Miss Newman.
Thank you. From that enormous applause, am I correct in assuming that you're in the entertainment world?
Yes, you are.
Mr. Cerf?
Would your principal contribution to entertainment come in the motion picture field?
No, sir.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Would it be the recording field?
Let me say this, that you're right in assuming the recording
What?
Yes, it was yes.
Yes, was that?
That was yes. Mr. Randall?
I thought I heard 3 men's voices. Did I?
Yes.
Miss Newman?
I just want to ask, is there more than one person here?
Well, we got this fellow with 3 voices.
So there are 3 of you and you're 3 men and you record. The only ones I can think of is the Mills brothers. Are you the Mills brothers? No.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Have you got a trio that bears a distinctive name in show business?
Yep.
Miss Francis?
Is it the Chad Mitchell trio? They're a trio, aren't they?
No, you're wrong there. Let me tell you that right now.
No, that's
What
3
happened?
down. That's no. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Randall.
Is one of you named Lou Gottlieb?
No, not this week.
4 down. 6 to go, Miss Newman.
I never heard of the Gottlieb trio.
They're marvelous, honey.
We've established that one of you is not a girl.
None of them.
I haven't a clue. Are you the Marx
Brothers.
No, $5 piping over success.
I want to try 2 trios and leave. Are you either the Limelighters or the Kingston Trio?
The King.
Yes.
Arlene, it's up to you.
Well, which one are you? Are you the Kingston Trio?
Yes.
Let me first of all introduce our guests, Nick Reynolds, John Stewart, Bob Shane, the Kingston Trio.
brothers.
Indeed.
That's marvelous. Sing us a note. I know you do better than that.
It really is.
Well, they are, as you all have learned in the last few minutes, ebullient spirits, and they have burst upon the scene and I guess had more great success in a very short amount of time than many have in a great many years. And congratulations to all of you.
Thank you very much, sir.
I must say, it looks like good summer gob, too. What are you all going to be doing up to? Where are you going next?
Well, in the first part of September, we're playing at the Greek Theater in Los Angeles, which will be a big thrill for us because it's a beautiful place. It really is.
You going overseas at all?
Well, we just got back from early in the spring, we ran over to England and Europe for a while. And we've been to Japan and Australia, etc.
Do you find the reaction among various audiences
yes.
the same? You don't.
It's amazing.
You can go into an English theater or an American presentation house, I guess you call it, or Tokyo, and the response you feel is immediate, the same. And
it's fantastic because, like, even in Japan, where they don't speak any English to speak of, it's a tricky phrase.
John, might I ask the boys one question?
Yeah.
How did you get the name, the Kingston Trio?
Well, when we first started thinking about doing this professionally, we needed a name real fast, and we were doing a lot of calypso at the time, Mr. Belafonte and Kingston Town and Kingston, Jamaica. So we just made up a name real fast one night in the car.
Called Kingston, so you named it
Right,
Kingston,
Jamaica.
Well, music is a universal language, as you three have proved all over again, and thanks very much for giving us some time on What's My Line.
Thank you.
Pleasure. No denying it, panel, that you've done rather better than well so far tonight, and we'll all be back after this word from our alternate sponsor. And once again, I must say it's great to have had a Tony winner and a Tony Randall with us tonight. I hope you both enjoyed your visit, and we'll have a chance to see you back again very soon. And may I say good night to Miss Arlene Francis.
You may indeed, Mr. John. Good night. And good night, Virginia. And good night, my dear friend, Tony.
You shall guess at him.
You shall guess at him.
Good night, Mrs. Green.
Good night, Mr. Randall. Good night, Bennett.
John, I must say, this is a little out of character. You're looking pretty Tony yourself tonight. Good night, sir.
I missed that, and I won't... What did you say, Benny?
I said you were looking pretty Tony yourself this evening.
You were looking pretty Tony yourself. Oh, Bennett, I say that's a smasher. Congratulations. Absolute smasher. Didn't you all think so? Very good, Bennett. Thanks very much, and thanks to all of you for being with us on What's My Line.
What's My Line is a CBS Television Network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Cotton. Johnny Olson speaking. The preceding program was pre-recorded.